Okay, so the quality on this video is bad. You're just gonna have to forgive me for that. But I haven't made any videos in a while, and the election kind of actually the election result kind of busted me out of my slumber. The whole election process didn't really do much for me, but some of the commentary since the election is interesting, and I just want to ask, all these all these conservative columnists, Kathleen Parker and several others I've seen, and and conservative talk show hosts are falling all over themselves. And that's my son sleeping right next beside me there. Uh, they're falling all over themselves to say how this moment represents some sort of uh, you know racial healing, or it represents something so great that finally proves that anything is possible in America. And there's two things about that. First of all, I'm not sure that it does represent something about America. I'm not sure that this is the moment, when the races will heal. I'm not sure that this is the moment that people of color can look to say, now anything is possible. I'm not sure this is that moment. But second of all, if this is that moment, is that big enough reason? Is that a good enough reason to elect a president? Are you telling me that before now, uh, black children couldn't believe that anything was possible for them? Only now black children can believe that anything is possible with them, even with the color of their skin. They can't look at the Eastern Indian people uh, uh, with black skin that come to America. They can't look at the African people with black skin that come to America that have that become millionaires at higher rates than white Americans born here within our borders. That doesn't do anything for to help, you know, uh, black children believe that anything is possible in America. It has to be the presidency of the United States. Um, Oprah Winfrey, female, black, billionaire in America. That doesn't say anything. Condoleezza Rice, black female Secretary of State. But particularly economically, is the political is the nation's highest political office where we should look to see that anything is possible? What about the Chris Gardners of the world, the Robert Johnsons of the world, Oprah Winfrey's of the world, Tiger Woods of the world? It's only in this moment that we finally believe anything is possible for black people in America. I don't get it, so I dispute that fact. I dispute the notion that this day is the day that all of those barriers were broken down. But for the sake of this argument going forward, let's assume it's totally correct. Let's assume today was the day. This election was the great signal that our country has moved beyond the racial tensions and that anything is possible for a black person in America. And that Americans, this is the signal that Americans have been waiting on to let us know that we've moved beyond the bounds and the designations that have so long been associated with race. Let's assume all that. Is that a good enough reason to elect Barack Obama to the presidency? And does that, if one considers that a positive, um, does that outweigh the negatives of the rest of his candidacy? And I say no, no, 1,000 times no. Barack Obama is going to take this country with the liberal Congress in a direction that's destructive to the ideals that America was founded on. Is racial healing a good enough reason to inject government control into every area of the economy? To inject government control into every area of free speech? To inject government control more so into education? To inject government control into all the different areas of our lives? And because we get some sort of feel-good notion out of the racial aspect of his candidacy, we're supposed to forget about all that? It's very debatable if this moment represents some great turning of the tide in relations between the races and in the identity of the black race. It's very debatable in my mind if this moment should be the moment that marks any great accomplishment between the races or in the black race itself. But if it does, is it worth it? And the answer is 1,000 times no. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Racial healing does not outweigh the destructive direction that Barack Obama has said he's going to take this country in. And it doesn't even come close. There's so many more examples of what black people can attain in this country than to the presidency of the United States of America, than winning a political election. There's so many more examples than that. This is not the examples that blacks need to know that they can do anything. This is not the example that the races need to know that we can relate with one another and we can move beyond those designations of race. This is not it. This is not it. Think it's it? You think this is that moment? I can respectfully disagree with you. But it still doesn't make it the right reason to elect a president.